Hello. In the last video I showed you a system that can detect whether a signal is turned on by the player or whether it's turned on by a different entity, and how you can get different outputs depending on what turned on something. And in the last video the system I showed was pretty big and messy, since I thought that this is actually something that people might want to use in survival. Being able to detect the difference between players and other entities, I compacted it quite a lot, and I will also make a tutorial at the end, mainly because I want to do a tutorial once, because I've never done a tutorial before. But basically what we have is here we have a pressure plate and redstone leading out of it, and then here we have a system that can tell whether the signal has been turned on by a player or by a different entity. If it was turned on by a player, it will output a 1 redstone tick pulse. Something important that I should mention is that if you put a repeater here, it won't recognize the player, because then it thinks that it has been turned on by a repeater and not by the player. So this is, yeah, that's basically that. Yeah, over here I have copied the system. It's 3 by 3 by 8, yeah, and if we power it as a player, we can also press a button, it will recognize us, but if something else powers the system, it doesn't recognize us. Okay, so to build this thing you need these resources, yeah, and I will make a tutorial, and while I make the tutorial I will explain how it basically works. So the important thing, the most difficult thing is we need to make a hopper bud, because this thing relies on weird timing issues with a torch and a hopper. Because what happens is, if a player directly activates the torch will lose 1 game tick of delay, and many things, other things will also lose 1 game tick of their normal delay, like repeaters or comparators, but hoppers won't care about this 1 game tick of delay. So basically what this contraption is doing is it compares the delay of a torch to a hopper. And so basically what we start with is we have a hopper and a dropper, and we will put a non-stackable item in there, and we're gonna build a hopper bud, so that the hopper triggers something when the hopper is updated. That's the first thing we're gonna do. The way we're gonna do it, we're first gonna power the hopper, and then we're gonna redirect redstone, because when redstone is redirected it doesn't update anything. So even though the hopper actually isn't powered anymore by this redstone through the dropper, it still thinks it's blocked and won't transmit its item until it is updated, and then it will transmit its item. And we then just need to make a reset for this, and the reset will look something like this. We're gonna detect if the item went into the dropper, and if it went into the dropper, then we're gonna update a piston here, and we need to put another block here. We update this piston here, and this piston is also budded because from redirected redstone. When this piston updates and retracts, the redstone will turn off and on, and this well will be retracted and pushed again, and it will just reset the entire bud system. So if I update this hoppers, things will trigger and the item will be put back in here. So that's the first part. And the second part we need is we need to compare to the time of a torch. And basically here will be our input, and this redstone dust will update this hopper, because redstone dust updates things 2 blocks next to it. And the most compact way I found to make this is this way, because you can't just place a block here, because anyway. And this is actually almost done, this system. So we basically have a torch here. This torch will turn off and it will retract the block, and if this comparator that goes out of the hopper is still on when this retracts, then there will be a signal. But if the hopper turns off first and this redstone dust from the comparator turns off before the torch manages to turn off, then we won't get a signal. That's precisely the difference between a player and an entity because of real timing. So basically, right now we have a following situation. If a player enters the pressure plate, it will blink first and then it will turn on. And if another entity enters the pressure plate, it will wait and then it will turn on. And since we want to really be able to automatically tell the difference, what we are gonna do is we're gonna lock the hopper after the blinking process, and now it will just blink for the players and it won't do anything for other entities. And that's basically the entire system. Yeah, and